For the others, I don't know. This one, Oak Cliff, is based on the actual cemetery that's on the cover. It is an actual cemetery across from my aunt's house. And that's where I took the title from. Other than that, I just kind of make them up as I go. Yes, sir.
What might happen if you didn't become an author? Did you have any other career choices in mind?
Yes, I wanted to be a teacher. But the problem with that was I was able to go to college for one semester. My parents couldn't afford the tuition. So I had to go to work, but that didn't kill my love of reading. Yes.
Are you working on writing another one?
Actually, I am. After these three, this is my newest one. It's part of a family saga that's going to be about 5 books long, and it's going to take our family from the late 1800s through, I don't know, 2020, whenever I finish writing the last book. Yes.
How do you find inspirations for your book?
That's kind of a tough question because after that first one, I don't know. It's whenever I see something that hits me, or I get an idea in my head, maybe when I'm sleeping, or a dream. The main character in all 3 of these books, her name is Merlene Madagascar. That name came to me in a dream. And I said, I don't know what to do with it. So I put her in a book. You know? Yes, in the back.
Besides your books, what's your favorite book?
Besides mine? Are there books besides mine? Gone with the Wind is my very, very favorite. I think because it's a long book and I feel like I was getting a lot for my money, but it taught me so many things, and each time I read it, I learn something new. Okay, yes, lady, my dear in pink.
Where are your books available?
Well, these 3 are available right here in the library. So if you want to check them out, I'm sure that can be arranged. Other than that, if anybody wanted to buy them, they're on Amazon.com. And if you go to the bookstore, you can ask them to order them for you. Okay? Yes.
How many books have you read?
Have I read? Wow. Oh my gosh. Never stopped to count them all. But I'm going to say read about 30 books a year. So I'm going to say, I'm going to give my age away. I'd say about 1,800 to 2,000 books over my life so far. Yes.
Did you research when you did your books, or was it just stuff that you already knew?
Okay, a lot of it in these 3 books are set where I grew up in the Northeast. So I knew a lot of the places. I did still have to do a lot of research because there were times, way before I was born, when things happened that I had only heard of, and I didn't want to get them wrong. Especially in Honeysuckle Hill, I'm dealing with the Algonquin Indians, and when they settled the area I lived in, so I really had to do a lot of research. I really didn't want the tribe coming after me. Believe me. Let's see, somebody else. Yes, in the back. Yes, sir.
Which is your most selling book?
I'm sorry, which was what?
Which is the most selling book?
Most sales of the book? Oak Cliff. And it's probably because it appeals to people who like the dark side of things.
I do.
Okay, I know you had your hand up, so what's your question?
It was actually a comment. My uncle, even though he ran off, he's still writing a book, I think. And it's a sci-fi book. I don't know how thick it is though. He's actually writing a sci-fi book based on a bunch of other things too cool into it.
Well, that sounds fascinating. I like sci-fi too. Very good. Okay, let's just hold for a minute. I'm going to finish up what I want to say, and then we'll take all your questions.
You're good.
Okay, as long as I'm good. Okay, so do we have any aspiring writers in this group? Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I love it. Okay.
That's why they're asking so many questions.
This is great. What do you think you need to know before you write?
Go ahead and pick someone else.
Go ahead. What a gentleman. Yes, my dear?
You know what you're going to write about?
Okay.
Or it takes place.
Yeah, that's good.
Correct spelling, grammar, and stuff.
Wonderful. That's exactly right. You need to know your spelling, your grammar, your punctuation. And what's the one best thing you can do before you write anything? I know you know the answer. Read.
Read a dictionary.
No, not really read a dictionary, but it's good to have one nearby. Because every time I read when I was growing up, if I didn't know a word, I'd write it down and go look it up. And when we were growing up, we were taught you use a word 3 times in a sentence and you own that word. It's part of your vocabulary. So, the best way to develop your writing style is to read, read, read. Compare the writing styles. Yes, Terry, you had a question? Did I just answer it? Okay. Yes?
Well, what book was the hardest to write?
The one that was hardest to write probably was Honeysuckle Hill because, as I said, I needed to do a lot of research with the Indian tribes and their customs. I didn't want to get anything wrong.
I didn't know.
Okay, yes.
I used to live in Hawaii and I got horrible grades in writing, but I love to write. Is there any way I can become an author?
Sure there is. Sure there is. Practice. You know what? The best thing to do is take a book that you're currently reading, read a paragraph. Ask yourself, how can I write this paragraph to make it better? Okay? And then do that. Read your paragraph, compare it to the first one and say, is it better? How can I make what I wrote even better still? Practice, practice. Write a short story. Write about your friends. Write about your vacation. You don't have to send it to anybody. Just write it. And practice will make perfect, and you'll do it. I have confidence you'll do that. Okay. I know you kids up in the front. I just want to get these guys in the back here. Yes, gentleman in the black shirt.
What do you usually do to write a book?
Okay. I try to come up with an idea of where I want to go sometimes, or what I want to say in a book. And then I develop my characters. Maybe it'll be a character based on, somebody I knew when I was growing up, one of my bosses. And after today, it might even be after one of you guys. Never know. Yes, young lady. Yes.
What does reading mean to you?
The world. Reading means knowledge to me. You find out so much from your books. You find out how people think, how they act, where they live, how their actions affect everybody else in the world. It's a whole world of friends, knowledge, everything. To me, reading is everything. It's my life. Yes.
What is your best advice that you could use for writing?
When you're writing, have patience, because sometimes you're going to want to write something and you'll think it's the best. You go back to it the next day and you'll say, oh my God, I don't believe I said that. You'll be in the middle of writing a story or a book report. I'm going to get to book reports in a minute. And then you'll say, no, I could have done that better. Try it again. Just practice. Practice and have patience with yourself. If it doesn't come, go back and reread what you wrote and see how you can make it better. You might get inspired by reading something that you wrote. Young lady in the green shirt back there.
Who inspired you to start writing a book?
You're going to laugh at me, but it was my husband. He knew it was important to me, and he said, just do it. Just do it. Get it out of your system. And boy, was he wrong. It's not ever going to be out of my system.
Just do it.
Okay, let's hold the questions for just a minute. I want to finish up what I have to say, and then we'll go back to your questions. Okay, whether you like to read or don't like to read, and I'm sure there's some people here who don't like to read, We all hate to do something called book reports, don't we?
Not all the time, really.
Okay, well, you're kind of like me. I used to love to do book reports.
I'm not saying, I didn't say all of them I liked. I'm saying I like some like reading timelines.
Okay. Next time you are faced with doing a book report, think about it as doing a book review. You know how you see on TV, they have the guys that review the movies every now and then? Do the same thing when you're reading a book. Think about what affects you in that book, what was good about it, what was bad about it. Believe it or not, you can make a career out of writing book reviews. There are tons of people who write book reviews for your magazines, your newspapers, periodicals. There's even, I think, 2 or 3 major book review companies that hire people to sit and write book reviews all day. Which means you have to do one of your favorite things, right? Read? Is that so hard to do? No. The other thing about the book reviews is that we as authors love to see what you're thinking about our work. Was it good? Did we make the story good? Were our characters strong? Did you identify with them? Were our descriptions right on about something? If they weren't, we want to know that. If you didn't like a character, tell us. We need that feedback to give you, who are our readers, what you want from us and make you happy in the process. There's no right or wrong way to do a book review, but let's see if we can get somebody here to try this. Don't raise your hand until you know what I'm going to ask. You might not want to do it.
I'll do anything.
I have a feeling you would. I think I'm going to make you a character in my next book. Think of a book that you're currently reading and pretend you're on Twitter. You have 40 characters to tell me what that book is about. That means spaces, punctuation, and everything. 40 characters. Can you do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there was this boy, and his dad moved to.
You've already used your characters up. Not words. Characters.
Letters.
Each letter is a character. Each space is a character. Each punctuation is a character. Okay. Want to try?
There are people.
Okay, that fits the time frame, the constraint of the space, but what did you tell me?
Well, there are people in the story. Some of them can be how involved in the story.
Okay, I'm going to give you an example. My latest book is 566 pages. To fit Twitter, boy meets girl, happily ever after with a question mark. All right, you want to try one?
Yes, mine's about Harry Potter, you know?
Okay.
And I was going to say, Voldemort gets really mad.
Is that 40 characters? Count them out.
Well, Voldemort's mad. Works.
Okay, all right, well that would work. That would work. You want to try one?
Girl's best friend is about to move.
That might fit. Sounds like it might fit. Okay, you know what? I'm going to just go on to one more thing. Try it at home. Write them down if you want. Send them to me on my website, and I'll let you know if it works. Okay? I've given your teachers a set of guidelines that I use to write my book reviews, and also what a good book review should look like. And I'm going to leave this with Mrs. Hemsley for next week. I'll get back to you at some point. And these are actual book reviews that I've written for